You may be dealing with a sickness or some difficulty, and you're in your 18th day, your 25th day, your 37th day. You have to do like her and keep reminding yourself that day 41 is coming, that the storm is not going to last, that the trouble is not permanent. The same God that stopped the rain for Noah is going to stop the rain in your life. The same God that took the children of the Israelites into the promised land is going to take you into your promised land, where there's no more wandering, no more sickness, no more can't get ahead. Day 41 is on your calendar. God has already scheduled the turnaround, the healing. It's already lined up the breakthrough, the divine connections. Just a matter of time before the winds cease, the waters recede, and you step in to a new level of your destiny.
I started working when I was 19. I met my teacher who helped turn my life around when I was 25. That's 6 years. At the end of the first 6 years of my economic life, I've got pennies in my pocket. I've got nothing in the bank. The creditors are calling saying, hey, you told us check was in the mail. I'm embarrassed. I'm behind on my promise. I live in America. I'm 25-year-old American male. I got a nice family, every reason to do well. And I'm messed up. Now, what's messed up? I used to think it was the community that was messed up. Country was messed up. And the government was messed up. If those Democrats ever get in the White House, that'll really mess things up. If the Republicans stay in power, that'll really mess things up. The economy was messed up. Interest rates are messed up. I thought all this stuff was messed up. Then I found out that's not what was messed up. I was criticizing the only thing I had to work with. What was really messed up was my own personal philosophy. My own errors in judgment in my own personal philosophy brought me in 6 years to pennies in my pocket, nothing in the bank, and trying to explain why I wasn't doing well living in America, 25-year-old American male, got a family, every reason to do well. Now, once I understood this, here's the formula for failure: errors in judgment, being lax about developing your own personal philosophy. I'm telling you, it's called accumulated disaster. It doesn't matter whether it's your health or your bank account. Guy's got an empty bank account, probably has high cholesterol. Why? Over the last 6 years, he never paid attention to either one. And it doesn't matter whether it's a dollar, or whether it's your money, or whether it's your cholesterol count. All you got to do is commit the errors, and just because disaster doesn't fall on you at the end of the first day that you don't eat an apple. You say, well, I didn't eat an apple today, and tonight I'm not ill. Well, you got to be brighter than that. Someday you got to leave first grade. The reason we make those first grade desks so small so they won't fit at age 25, right? You don't belong here anymore. Come on. Now let me give you the secret to success. Formula for failure: a few errors in judgment repeated every day for 1 month starts the week, starts the disaster process. You can imagine what happens 6. Now here's the formula for success: a few simple, disciplined practice every day. You've started a whole new process called a whole new life. Simple, disciplined practice every day. And if you decide today to go for the apple instead of the Hershey bar, I'm telling you, you have begun the process of turning your life. And if you keep up that process, not only with your health habits, but with your money habits and with your communication habits, with your sales habits, management habits, and every other habit that you got, if you'll start that process, eliminate the errors and replace it with disciplined practice, telling you can start this process of life change immediately. After today, you don't ever have to be the same again. Only by choice. You don't have to walk out of here the same as you walked in. Only by choice. You can start a whole new process. You say, well, Mr. Rohn, is it that simple? Yes, it's that simple. Where else would you start but with an apple? You don't have to start with something staggering. What if you should be walking around the block for your good health and you don't? What'll that do in 6 years? I'm telling you, the word is disaster. You could and you should and you don't. Here's an even stronger word. You won't. Don't might mean you're careless. Won't probably means you're stubborn. And either one's called disaster. Could, should, don't. I'm telling you, that's why at the end of 6 years, I found myself with pennies in my pocket, nothing in the bank, creditors calling.
Here's the other thing. Let us say together, it's possible. It's necessary. It's me. Yes, write that down. It's me. Take ownership for your life. Nobody can live your dream for you but you. Nobody's going to take care of your business like you. Stop coming up with excuses. Don't give yourself permission to continue to live a small life. You can't fit a big dream into a small life. Give yourself permission to go for it, to test yourself, to challenge yourself, to live full. I like the saying, always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. The reason you're here is because there's something in you that says, I can do more more. This just can't be it. There's something in you. There's a calling on your life. There's something in your heart that caused you to get dressed and spend the money to go to seminar after seminar and listen to message after message and speaker after speaker, because there's something in you that tells you this is not it for you. You have not peaked here. There's more in you that you are expressing. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what's in store for you if you challenge yourself, if you persist and persevere, if you take ownership for your life. George Bernard Shaw said the people that make it in this life, they look around for the circumstances that they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. Create what you want. You have the power in you to do more than you can ever begin to imagine, to control your destiny, to make a difference in our children, to make a difference on the planet, to make an impact. Let us say together, it's me. And let us say together, it's hard. Say it like you know it. Say it's hard. Ladies and gentlemen, it's hard. There are people who have seen their retirements taken away from them by the corporations that they work for. They were within 2 or 3 years of retiring, and they had it taken from them. The number one entrepreneurs in this country now are senior citizens. The number one employer, number 2, McDonald's and Walmart. And there's nothing wrong with those jobs. I guarantee you those people did not have a plan to end up living their lives at the end of life with those types of jobs. And they didn't have a plan like you have, and while you're investing in yourself, not to. And it's hard. There are people making choices between purchasing prescription drugs or paying for gas or a mortgage note. It's hard when you're working on a job for 20 years, 30 years, give them some good years, and then they come in and tell you, we've downsized. In other words, you're fired. And then you have to start all over again. How many of you know it's hard? Raise your hands, please.
You have to resolve yourself today that you're going to win in business, that you're going to dominate, that you're not average and ordinary. There has to become a point where you make a decision. We're going to dominate. We're here to win. We are not here to play. And you got to have a company that decides it's going to win. And that takes some intestinal fortitude. It takes a decision, and it takes you being evangelical about your cause. So you can get all these emotions you want, but as a man, you still got to win. To be what you're worth, you still got to win, right? And that's what I want you to get out of today. You got to decide you're going to win. If you're going to win in your family, you're going to win in your personal life. I'm where I'm at because I just flat decided I'm going to be a player. I just decided it. I'm not special. I come from a Velcroed Mercedes. I come from a dysfunctional family, but I decided at some point I get to choose who I am. The world doesn't tell me who I am. I'm not that small introverted athlete with an alcoholic dad with no confidence. I write these chapters. Me and God write chapters. I got the best co-author on the planet. He made me and you in his image and likeness. He made you to do something great with your life. That's no BS. Too many of us forget this. Too many of us forget where we come from. We come from greatness, the DNA of the King of Kings. I don't even care if you're a person of faith. Trust me, you should have some. The only explanation for where I am is there must be an amazing God in heaven who's blessing me on a regular basis, who loves me and you, by the way, in spite of all the stupid sins we make, because you know you made a bunch of them. And what you think is all this crap you've done wrong, maybe even while you've been here on this trip, disqualifies you from winning. God takes dudes like me and dudes like you and women like you, and we change the freaking world. That's what he does. And he takes a guy like my son who will outwork you. He's a sweetheart. He's a good boy. He's a Christian boy. He's not trying to flex all the time. He'll just outwork you. He got that scholarship because before school every day at 5:30, our golf course set up the balls because they know Max comes before school. Then he stays till dark after school. That's why he won. And I think he modeled some of that from his old man. You got to look at how much you're working. You got to look at the effort you're making. You got to put the intention you're putting out there. You think it's easy to go make hundreds of millions of dollars? What a joke someone's convincing you of that. It's relentlessness, man. It's crazy. It's pushing past barriers. It's every time you get somewhere, it's wanting to go to the next level. It's also something, write this down, that I teach all my athletes called equanimity. Equanimity is peace under duress. Being able to find peace under duress. Meaning this, it's easy to walk around and say, I'm going to be a peaceful dude, right? Or to create duress. But can you find the emotional control to be at your best under the highest stress level?
You've all seen this book I got out in this video called Jump. Oh, I jumped. Now, I don't recommend that you do it that way, because 2 years later I was homeless. Because the first year of comedy I made $3,400. The next year I made $4,800. And the third year I made $5,100. I got a wife, a set of twins. I'm sending every dollar I got to them. So I tried to live on $50, $75 gas, 38 cents a gallon back then. I just stayed in my car. So I lived in my car for 3 years. 3 years I lived in my car. And what happened was, I just said, man, so I used to fish all the time to eat because I'm a fisher, bass fisher. So I used to stop at lakes and ponds and just fish. And every month I'd run off somebody's land. Hey, get away from here. Hey, move along, that's not yours. Hey, stop fishing here. I just get run off. And he didn't understand. And one time I had fish on the line. They said, you got fish on that line? I said, yeah. Throw them back. I had to throw them back because I used to stop at rest areas with them little cast iron grills. I kept charcoal in my car. I started a fire and I eat fish. There's some days I wouldn't eat. So that they thought I was just fishing, but I was eating. So I said one day, I said, man, you know what? One day, man, I'm gonna give myself some land. I'm buy myself a piece of dirt. So fast forward, God bless. I get on TV when I'm 38. I'm on Showtime at the Apollo. Lord have mercy. They gave me my money. I saved my money up. I saved $250,000. I said, I'm going to give me some land. I went to Texas and I'm about to buy some land. But before I went to buy the land, I was curious. I just had the thought. I said, man, how much land is on earth? How many acres is on earth? Because you know, it's not going to change. You know, God let you fly. God let you dive on the water. God don't let you make dirt. Can't make dirt. So I looked it up. It's roughly just a little bit over 36 billion acres of land. 36 billion acres of land. So I just got a little bit more curious. And I said, well, how many people on earth? I looked it up and there's about 6 billion people on earth. So I did some Steve Harvey thinking. I said, okay, if it's 36 billion acres of land and it's about 6 billion people on earth, everybody ought to have 6 acres of land. Not just me. You know, I just think. So I asked God, could I have 6 acres? That's all I wanted. Because you know the one thing I wanted? I didn't care if I put a house on it or nothing. I just wanted to be a stand somewhere and couldn't nobody run me off. I just wanted. You know, man, I was in a world of hurt. I'm so sick of just getting run off every time I stopped. Got this money, man. I saved my money. I saved $200,000. I'm going and I'm looking for some land. First day I see a piece of land in Texas, so beautiful. I couldn't have rolling hills, had a pond on it where I could fish. A dude took me over there. I look at the land and I'm looking out. I said, man, this is great right here. I said, sir, how much is this right here? He said, well, it's about $600,000. I said, man, I ain't got that kind of money. He said, well, how much do you have? I said, I got $250,000. I said, well, let me think about it. He said, let me think about it. And I was standing there and then I stopped. I said, sir, can I ask you a question? How many acres of land is that? He said, this is 6 acres. 6 years ago, I just asked God, just give me 6. See, I didn't want a whole lot of it. I just wanted my cut. Just give me my 6. And so I said, ain't this crazy? So I thought about it. What could work out? Right before I got ready to say it, the guy that took me over there said, Steve, let me show you. Took me over this hilltop. Took me over this hillbilly house named Jerry Camp. Now, I don't really care for hillbilly because, you know, when your voice, I believe and I don't that. When I hear that, me and you probably ain't gonna work out. I'm from Cleveland. I do things. I don't want trouble. I met Hill. I was a little nervous about meeting him, man, because I didn't like the way he talked, but mess around turned out to be one of the finest men I ever met in my life. He became a father figure to me. Old white. He took me to his house. He said, let me show you. He took me over and showed me this land, and it was massive. It had 3 lakes on it. It had rolling hills. It had trees. It was unbelievable, man. I said, man, this is incredible. I said, man, how much is this? He said, this 16 acres. I said, hey, man, I ain't got that kind of money. Let me go on back over here to this dude where Mike can cut a deal. He said, well, let me ask you something. What was you going to give that man over there? I said, well, I hadn't worked it out yet because all I got is $250,000. He said, well, listen, I'm in a little bit of a tight right now. He said, if you can bring me $250,000 cash by tomorrow, I'll give you this 16 acres. I showed up next day, $250,000. 16 acres. See, that's grace and favor right there. That's what that is. So my first piece of land was 250 acres. So I said, man, this is the land that I'm going to save for my family. I'm going to fish on the rest of my life. I'm going to be an old man. So then I got to thinking, I said, hold up, man. You mean you have not because you asked now? I asked for 6 years ago. He showed me 6, but he gave me 16. So I went to God. I said, God, listen to this. I'm from Cleveland. I got a couple partners that's locked up. They probably won't be using they 6. So I said, Lord, could I have a 6? And he said, yeah. So every time acres came up available around that 16, I bought it. And I bought 6 more. And then I went back and I said, well, Lord, all my friends ain't locked up, but some of them just ain't, they just ain't Well, it just ain't nothing. You know, they don't want nothing. They ain't trying. Could I had A6? So he gave me the A6. And so then I was doing a show one time, on HBO, a friend of mine. He's an atheist. He don't believe in God, but he got a late night show. And he asked me to do the show, and I thought I was going to be on there telling jokes. But come to find out, he was doing a show on atheism. And I turned him down. I said, I don't want to talk. He said, man, why don't you come and talk? You're a man of faith. I said, well, I don't like arguing with people who don't believe in God. You don't believe in God. I think you a fool. And I'm pretty sure since I believe in God, you think I'm a fool. And I don't think two fools ought to be standing around talking. Let's just end that. He said, man, come on and do the show. So we did the show. I hated it. But after the show, I counted all them atheists. And it was 6 of them. So I asked God, could I had A6? Because I know good and well, they ain't going to ask him for nothing. Cool. So he gave me the A6. Next thing you know, I had 270 acres of land. Now, let me tell you something. I'm so busy now, I don't even get to go. And I thought I was saving my kids' rest of life. God had another. That's the ranch that I have my mentor camp. I bring 1,000 black boys out there with 1,000 single mothers. And that was the purpose of that ranch. I never go there to fish at all. But see, that's what I wanted. I thought that's what it was for. But God got another plan. His way is way bigger than yours. You can't even see his way. But you got to start the hustle.
Do you ever wake up and you're saying, I don't want to do it today?
I fight against that. You know, it's the big challenge. It's when you're not willing to do something, but you have to do it. This is the main point. This is why I say our mind, it's a box of surprises, and you have to challenge yourself to be consistent.
If you've got discipline, you're willing to do it every single day of your life. And knowing that it's going to take so long to do it, you just get up and do it. You don't even think about motivation, but it's discipline over motivation. Motivation is a small thing that can last 2 minutes or an hour. I guess it's a list of things that you must do for yourself to become what you want to be.
There's no fucking passion. There's no fucking motivation. There's no, oh my God, man, it's every day of your life just doing.
If you tell your friend tomorrow, 9 a.m., I'm going to meet you at the gym, you're going to be at the gym at 9 a.m. just because you don't want to let him down. But if you tell yourself tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'm going to be at the gym, you're not going to show up. You're going to be late. Why? Because it's you.
Don't tell yourself you need to do something and then don't do it. Time to train at that time. Set a time to go to sleep at that time. Set a time to get up at that time.
If you say you're going to the gym 5 times a week, you go to the gym 5 times a week. If you say you read 75 minutes a day, you must read 75 minutes a day. Because every day that you miss, it will just weaken your mind.
The discipline is the most difficult thing, not only in the sports, but in the life.
You can't be motivated anymore. You don't need others to motivate you. You have to be self-motivated.
You have to learn to perform without motivation.
Motivation is a feeling that comes and goes, and it doesn't matter whether it's there or not. Discipline is infinitely more important. So no matter how you feel, get up and do what you're supposed to do.
The more discipline you have in your life, the more freedom you will end up with. If you have self-discipline, if you have the discipline to save your money and work hard and invest your money properly, if you have the discipline to manage your time correctly and not waste a bunch of time, if you have the discipline to exercise and eat healthy, you will end up with freedom.
It's you against you. You against you. And if you misunderstand that, you have a real problem. The problem is you. And you don't want to fix it.
The fight and the battle every day is between me versus me. Mm-hmm. When I wake up in the morning and I wake up late, and I'm talking about if I'm supposed to wake up at 3 and I woke up at 4:30, I'm upset with myself. I hate myself that day. I'm disgusted by myself. You have to get to a point that when you do something in life that is out of your routine, you're actually disgusted by who you are. You feel like you have no place in this world anymore, which means the next day you're going to get it done and you're going to be right on time.
Do it and do it and do it and do it. That's the hack.
Every morning when you get up, say over and over to yourself, do it now, do it now, do it now. I do it now, do it now. Whenever you have this tendency to procrastinate, Program your subconscious mind with this automatic conditioned command. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. The key to overcoming procrastination is to develop a sense of urgency. Be the kind of person who gets things done quickly. Be the kind of person who launches fast on a task.
If you are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no drive, no motivation, no shit, and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that. Turn your feelings off when it comes down to you wanting to be better. What that means is when that alarm clock goes off, your feelings got to go away if you want to achieve greatness. And greatness is only achieved when your feelings about that kind of shit, and let me say that kind of shit. So for those soft people who may be listening to this, don't put words in my mouth. I'm not talking about your fucking family and all that shit. I'm talking about the grind. The fucking grind. Your feelings have to go away.
Everybody says discipline is so important, but they never want to tell you why. I'll tell you why discipline is so important. It's the strongest form of self-love. It's ignoring something you want right now for something better later on. Discipline reveals the commitment you have to your dreams, especially on days where you don't want to. The future you is depending on the current you to keep the promises you made to yourself yesterday.
Let weaker people complain that the world isn't fair. You are the leader of your life. Choose the hard path, the path of responsibility, hard work, and sacrifice, the path of discipline, humility, and ownership that ultimately leads to freedom. Make discipline part of your daily life, and your daily life will get better.
When you wake up in the morning, you have a choice. You have a choice to get the fuck up. And if you get the fuck up, you got one W under your belt. Every fucking day I wake up, I don't want to do some shit. I'm like, okay, man, do you want to be a today? Do you want to feel like a little, do you want to walk around all day knowing that you could, but you didn't?
Discipline eats motivation for breakfast. You don't need motivation. It's great if it arrives. It's some extra fuel on the fire, but discipline is the thing that you need. What would you tomorrow want you today to do? You tomorrow would want you to keep that promise to yourself. And it's why discipline is so much more valuable. Doing the thing in spite of not wanting to do the thing is discipline. You don't need motivation to get yourself up to go and do a thing.
When you put that practice in every day, you lace them up. And I mean, Brian, it's just a metaphor for life. Pretty soon you win because you have put the practice in that you know this is the process. It's such a daunting task that all the voices are saying though. But you still have the conviction that I know I can do this.
It's very hard when you go up against somebody that shows up every flipping day where you sit there and say, take a damn week off. Let me catch up. Because hungry people, they're just more urgent than everybody else. You know how many times people say things like, close your eyes, visualize with me. It's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. What does your house look like? What does your car look like? Okay, that's great. But how about we do it in a different way? Close your eyes, go 20 years from now, and you don't do nothing. You stay the same as you are today. How many divorces you got? What happened to your family? How about the people that said you're going to quit and they say, I told you so? Every single time you have to appease to their opinion becoming factual because you gave up on your dreams. Say, that's the real exercise. And if you're okay with that, keep living life the way you're living.
You want to hold them accountable? Hold yourself accountable too. You always want to blame other people. You want to hold other people to the fire, but you're not holding yourself to the fire. And you need to get rid of them excuses. And you need to stop pointing fingers at people. And you need to start pointing fingers at yourself. What did you not do?
You look for excuses. Look for solutions. That's what winners do. Losers are always looking for the excuse. Where the winner looks for the solution, man. Why don't we put the energy into the dreams that can be? The reason why you're doing that, if you're not working hard enough, you're not studying hard enough, you're not burning the midnight oil every night, which prevents you from staying awake in the midnight hours later in life wondering what it could have been.
You are not where you want to be, not because you need any more gifts. You need to discipline yourself.
It's a lifestyle. Instead of hitting that snooze button in the fucking morning and not making your bed and not cleaning your house, you don't hit the snooze button. You get up. You don't want to go run, you go run. You don't want to go swim, you go swim. You don't want to make your bed, you make your bed. You don't want to clean your house, you clean your house. You don't want to study, you can study. That's how you start to callous your mind.
But you just got to keep your eyes on the horizon. You can't get worked up on the daily ins and outs and struggles and external factors that beat on you in life. If you really want it, it takes work ethic, sacrifice, due diligence, sweat equity to get there. And you can get there. And you learn those lessons in the gym to transform yourself from A to B. Discipline is in the gym, right? You wake up at 5:30 in the morning. It's raining outside. You don't want to go to the gym, but you get up anyway and you go to the gym. And why? Because you believe in a higher cause. So you do that over and over again. Small steps lead to big steps, lead to the big picture of who you are and what you can be. Then all of a sudden, you look in the mirror, you're like, wow, look what I look like. But what have you really gained? You gained a mental toughness, confidence of who you are, that you can take that lesson learned in the gym and transcribe that into all theaters of life, whether that's your social life, your marriage life, corporate America, building up from mailroom to CEO, valuable lessons that are the bedrock of someone's character that are developed in the gym.
You need to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable scenarios, okay? If you do easy things, you will have a hard life. If you do hard things, you will have an easy life. The more you stay uncomfortable as a man, the more success you will have. A lot of you motherfuckers don't have nothing to lose. You have to give yourself things to lose. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable scenarios. Yo, I have to do this. If I don't do this, yo, I'm gonna die. Simple as that. Tell yourself that, yo, if I don't get up and work out consistently, if I don't do the things I need to do for my business, if I don't do this, yo, it's either I do this or I die. Simple as that.
Now, we must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And I'm suggesting discipline, mental discipline to refine ideas. Of course, it's laborious and of course it's a push, but it's called small price to pay so that you won't have the regret later on. Regret weighs tons. Discipline weighs ounces.
Everyone is jealous of what you've got. No one is jealous of how you got it. People see the trophies, but not the training ground.